Okay, everyone, welcome to today's episode. And today's topic is going to be about the one thing that you can do to restore your hair after postpartum hair loss. And this topic is near and dear to my heart because I've experienced. So not only have I walked the walk, I've talked the talk, so I know what to do about it. And what it is during pregnancy, right? Your hair is thick, is healthy, probably the healthiest that it's ever been. And there's probably minimum shedding, of course. And then along the way, somehow, you end up, after having the baby, you start to shed hair. And depending on your hair type, that can be anywhere from 80 to 150 strands. So it's just depending on your hair texture, right? Now, I didn't know a thing about postpartum hair loss. So I'm going to, in case you were like me and wondering what it even is, so I'm going to tell you what it is. So postpartum hair loss is when your hair is prematurely pushed into the telogen effluvium stage. And that just specifically means that your hair is forced out of its normal growth cycle and abruptly. So meaning that it's just going to shed all at once and it'll come out like in clumps. So once that goes on for a while, your hair will seem like it's not growing. And that can last anywhere between 3 to 5 months. Again, everybody's body is different. And so like you're just keep, experiencing shedding. And, before long you'll be thinking like your whole hair is on the floor, but it's not, of course. But that's how I felt personally after having my second son. So I have 2 boys. And after I had my first son, everything was fine. Hair was just long, thick, coarse, curly. I didn't have any problems with it, so I continued to abuse it and do what I do, color it, cut it, wear different styles. But for whatever reason, they always say after you had a second baby, like your body just really starts to go through changes. And so that is what I experienced. And so it was just very detrimental for me for my hair to be coming out all at once. And so I had to just get a grip on myself and start looking for styles, things to do to manage and camouflage. So thank goodness that I am a cosmetologist, so I knew how to do that as well. And so I once I figured out what was going on with my body, I was like, okay, I need to be able to get this information out to share with others so that they can know at least something to do to help manage and maintain their hair. And so I wanted to let you know that, postpartum hair loss is very common. So on average, between 40 to 50 women, they will experience some sort of postpartum hair loss at some point. And that's going to be according to research that was done by the American Pregnancy Association. Now, you may be thinking, how much will I lose, or how much, am I going to continue to lose? Again, that's going to vary upon person to person. But I will say the good news is that it's temporarily and it's not permanent. But I will put this caveat in there. So pending, if you don't have any other underlying conditions going on with your body and your hair follicle, it will remain, again, like I said, inactive. So it won't be growing, won't be in that growth stage like it was before you had your baby or during your baby stage. But it can last up to 3 to 5 months. And then once that period is over, your body has calmed down and it decides that it wants to level out, then you could probably start to see hair growth maybe another 3 months, 3 to 6 months after that. So overall, you're looking at least a year before your hair can like really come back into balance with your body. But I always say this as an indicator: your health is your hair is the barometer of your health. So you can always tell what's going on within your body just by looking at your hair. So if your hair is shedding all the time and you probably haven't even had a baby, then that's something that you need to start looking into, because one, you got either one or two things going on. One, either, it's just styling practices and you may need to change that up, or two, it's something going on internally. And so that's why I'm real big on healing the hair from the inside out, because all it takes is just a simple few things for you to do to change up your hair and your hair regimen in order to get your hair back on track. So as I stated earlier, I want to tell you the one thing that you could do to restore your hair after you've experienced postpartum hair loss. And so one of the things that I learned that has really been very instrumental to me was taking my supplements and hair vitamins. Now, please do not ask me for a specific brand that I can recommend, because I really don't get into like the brands. But I will say that, you want to look for, take supplements that are going to be based on what your body needs. Now, I will say this, if you would like to get into like my hair membership, that is something where we discuss and further details to figure out, specifically what your body needs at that time. But I just want to put that out there and say that definitely taking your supplements and replenishing your body back with the natural with the vitamins that it needs, because again, you just gave a baby. So now all your nutrients have been depleted, mostly, especially your reserves if you had any, because you just gave birth. And so that was life changing. And so definitely starting to put that back into your body to replenish yourself. Now, I will tell you this from a scientific approach. So what is actually going on inside your body as far as like why you're seeing the hair loss? And that's because your hormones are rebalancing. So during pregnancy, your hormones have increased, meaning you have lots of estrogen going on. And then therefore, of course, your hair growth cycle has began to change because you have something internally. You got new life going on inside of you. And so now that you have given birth, your body is starting to go back to normal. So if you decided to, breastfeed or not breastfeed, all of that is going to play a co-factor into it. And so if you have decided not to breastfeed, then of course the estrogen, like it just goes down like really quick. So your estrogen and progesterone levels, like those are starting to go down. And so that's how you start to experience and start seeing the results in your hair. Now, it won't happen right away, so don't get alarmed like, oh, I just had this baby and my hair is gonna come out. So no, it normally takes a while before your hair starts to come out. But I will say this: if you are breastfeeding, because I know I was breastfeeding, I breastfed both my boys actually, and your body is still producing the hormone prolactin, so it's your hormone will still be elevated in that sense, because of course you're producing the milk to feed the baby. And so prolactin, that's the hormone that is in your brain, and so it actually tells your body like, hey, to keep producing and making this milk. And so that is what causes for you to be able to begin to continue to feed your baby after you breastfed. But then again, as I stated before, like once you start to wean the baby, and start getting your life back, so then that is how your hormones start to come down. And then as your hormones are coming down, you're starting to go back into finding your hair growth cycle. And so that is what is causing all of the disturbance in your hair and why your hair is out of balance.